Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's Joku. Welcome to part 2 of the Denver Bronco breakdown. We're going to be taking a look at their defense tonight. We finally got the ball. I think things are looking pretty good. I got a few holes I think we can exploit out there, but Vic Fangio is a very good coach. Be pretty much like Marinelli getting a head coaching job. He knows how to build the defense. He knows how to make it operate out there. So I want to take a pretty deep dive into it and get your guys' opinions on it. See what kind of formations you'd want to run against it. So let me know what you guys are thinking out there. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. But we're going to go ahead and jump into it and see how this all breaks down for us. We'll start with their defensive line out there. They went out and got Casey from the Titans. That dude is good. He is very, very good. And they still got Purcell and they still have Shelby out there. And they're a very good defensive line. The Broncos run a true 3-4. There are very few teams in the league that run a true 3-4. So it kind of messes with offenses a little bit just because they don't see it all the time. But at the same time, there's ways to exploit it and get around it. And I really think that we have the team that go out there that can do it. Because for as much hype as this team is getting, I still think there's a lot of holes out there on the offense and the defensive side. And I think the better teams in the league are going to go out there and just truly exploit it. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, my take, what's going on, dude? Glad you could make it out. Chance, what's happening? Mike, hey, brother, I hope you and your family are doing good. Everything's looking up today, man. I'm having a really good day, actually. Had a really good weekend, so I'm super excited, man. Been a good run right now, so hopefully it keeps on rolling. Andrew, what's happening? Mark my words, the Raiders are going to dominate this season. Jeff, welcome to the show, man. I'm right there with you. There's something different about this season, man. I can feel it in my freaking bones out there. We're going to go out there and shock some people. We truly, truly are. I know a lot of people say that we're still young, but at the same time, we have the veteran players up there to take these guys to the next level. And as I keep going through these breakdowns, yeah, we're playing some seriously good teams out there this season. We do have a hard schedule. It's not as hard as it was last season, and we ended up doing pretty good. But a lot of these teams we match up very well against. That's why I really enjoy making these videos, even though they're a little bit tedious, because once you get it drawn up like this, you can see exactly what these guys are going to be up against. We got a shot, man. We got a serious shot. Tony, welcome to the show. Nicholas, what's up, dude? Didn't see anything too crazy from AJ when they went against him. Still mad about the Jags. Yeah, dude, I'll give you that all damn day. Oh, Jack, I appreciate you, man. MVP, what's happening, dude? All right, so then we'll jump into their linebackers real quick. And, I mean, let's be honest, dude. They're running 4 linebackers out there, and you can do that if 2 of your linebackers are Chubb and Miller out there. Chubb, we saw the injury last season, really set this entire defense back. That's a tough injury to come back from. I want to see exactly how he does coming back from that injury, but I'm not going to take anything away from Chubb until I see him back out on the field again. That dude was a beast. He still is probably a beast. Something like that might take a step away from him, but even him being a step down, it's still going to... He's still going to be one of the best out there. But Johnson and Davis, their inside linebackers, are not that great. They're not bad. They're not terrible. They're like a step above. Like if we had Morrow and Lee back there, it'd be like a step above that. So they're not household names. Johnson's kind of like Littleton, where he's their guy that kind of flies around out there and can get into the coverage. And then Davis is pretty much kind of like their thumper out there, but neither one of them are like truly excelling at that position. So I think the interior run game is going to be pretty wide open for us in this, and we're going to have to get that going. I had a 2 tight end set out there when I was first building this, and it looked pretty good, but just stacking up against a true 3-4, the 2 tight end set, yes, we're going to have to establish the run. It's going to have to be a major part of this game, but a lot of us winning this game is going to come down to us spreading out those linebackers and getting Davis and Johnson in man coverage out there. Preferably against our running backs or against somebody like Foster. So that's going to be a major impact for this game. We have to make that happen. That's why I put us going into this. We're in the shotgun, which we see very rarely. Drives me insane because I love watching Derek Carr work out of the shotgun. But then we got Jacobs and Bowden back there. And the 2 running back set pretty much forces Davis and Johnson to take one of those guys, because everybody else is going to be locked up in coverage, trying to either double team out on Waller or get the double team over on Ruggs. But I'll tell you right now, if they double team Ruggs and Jackson ends up against Waller, that's a huge win for us. Like a huge win. We'll jump into that one in a second. Oh, Raider McLeod, what's going on, man? Ricky, welcome to the show, dude. Appreciate the videos. Man, I love making these things. I appreciate you guys checking them out. Their secondary is the weakness. We have a very same O-line coming back. Yes. And we bullied them around last season, and I was happy to see that. And it is the same O-line coming back. If they are healthy going into this game, I have no doubts we'll be able to establish the run, and that's going to open up, I'm not even going to say the play action. It's going to open us up in the passing game to where we can start getting these isolation routes out there. And once we get to that point, we're going to exploit it. Mitchell, what's happening, dude? Waller's going to eat. No C. Harris. I have a feeling Waller's going to have an incredibly big game out there. A lot of it's going to... The only thing about Waller, I see Simmons, and we'll talk about Simmons real quick. That dude is an elite safety in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. It sucks. He's a Denver Bronco. That dude is one of the best in the league right now. If they go ahead and pair him right up against Waller, it's going to be a tough time for Waller that game, but it's going to free up everybody else. Because if we can take Simmons some way out of this game, and even if it means it's taking one of our own players out, it's going to be just... man, it's going to be dramatic, because Simmons not being able to double team and just kind of play free is going to limit that defense, especially if they can't get the pass rush going, because our defensive tackles are going to have to, or our offensive tackles are going to have to step up and just play lights out this game, because they have to be able to shut down Miller and Chubbs. They've done it in the past. I have a feeling they'll do it again, but that's going to be a big move for us. We tore them up in the last year, and we should hopefully improve from that, and they have. We did, and they have gotten better. And I still think this team, this Denver team, is going to show flashes of brilliance out there. I just hope it's not against us. They're building a quality roster out there. I just think they're about a year or two away, but they're still going to go out there, and they're going to show some teams like, hey, we're coming. I just don't want that to be against us. That's one of the things that scares me about this team. I've been a lifelong Raider fan, and I can safely say that we've never had a quality depth that we have right now. Mayak is a genius. That is the biggest difference on this team. The fact that we have somebody behind all these guys. And honestly, it's players that we had last season that they just shouldn't have been starting. It kind of sucks to say, because I was loving that team last season. I was trying to hype them up as much as I could. But those were depth guys playing at starting positions, and now we have starters, and those depth guys are finally where they belong. Because a lot of them were still young. They just needed time to grow out there, and we just kind of threw them into the fire. But now we have people that are playing in front of them, people that can go out there and help them learn the system, really help to not learn like our system, but just learn how the NFL works and really help them grow. That's big, dude. That is big. That is what the championship caliber teams have, and that's something that we have not had in forever. And I give Mayock 100% credit for that, so I completely agree with you. Got to run it at Miller all night long. Yeah, that's one of the things that we love to do against this. And when I first set this up, I had Mario out there, I had Waller out there, and then I had Ingold in there, and we were just blasted it straight at Miller. But then I was like, that will work, and that is how we're going to establish the run game and just everything we're going to do throughout this game. And I was like, but we have to be able to put points up, because this offense is still going to be coming. They're still going to be gunning out there. If nothing else, Locke is going to air that ball out. So I don't think this game will turn into a shootout. I think this will be more of a defensive struggle, and I really think we have the edge in that completely. But as far as us being on offense, we have to be able to get these guys singled up. But if we can get them singled up, that's ball game. That is an easy ball game. Agree, we got to match up advantages at every position. That is it. That is truly it. Derek Carr in the shotgun is special. Man, Nicholas, man, welcome to the show, dude. It is. And I get it. It's not Gruden's system. It's not the way that Gruden likes to do things. But Derek Carr operating out of the shotgun with the weapons that he has right now would be unbelievable. And if we do get into that run and shoot, you're going to see a little bit more shotgun. It's not going to be a tremendous amount, but we're going to see it out there. And if you have Bowden and Jacobs back there with you, even if you're putting one of them in motion, you still have so many options you could do out of that. And honestly, I could see Richard coming into this setup as well. I know I don't have his little cutout out there, but probably coming in there really for Jacobs, just kind of spell him on like a third down, just because he knows all the blocking assignments, so you could really count on him to pick up that linebacker that's coming. Because when you're running against the 3-4, you're always going to have at least one of those 4 linebackers is coming, so you got to keep up from which guy it is and which side he's coming from. And Jalen's extremely good at that, so I have no doubts about that. So I could see that being a real possibility out there for us too. Ferris, what's up, dude? I think we match up well against Denver. We do. I think Denver is one of the teams that we play a lot of quality offenses out there, but this is one of the offenses and defenses where if you just look at it on paper, we're pretty evenly matched, and we have the advantage in a lot of positions, so I'll take that all day long. Jeff, what's happening, dude? What you got? I'd love to see the offense start the game 4 and 5 wide, throw the ball out all over the field and run up the score early and then pound them with the run. Play the dime defense to close it out. Dude, I completely agree with you. I just don't think that we'll see that out there. I think you're going to see a lot, no matter who we're playing, you're going to see a lot of the 2, possibly 3 tight end sets out there. And you're going to see us right off the bat, every game, try to establish that run. And for as much as I don't like that, that is something that has to happen if you're going to go ahead and open up the rest of your playbook out there. We have the backs that can do it. I know I've said a lot about Booker, but if Booker can come in there and just be that spell back and Jacobs can stay healthy to where he gets the majority of the touches out there, plus you got Bowden. And honestly, if Bowden took that number 2 spot and then Booker was our number 3, I still don't see that happening just because of how many things we can do with Bowden and how many places he's going to be playing out there. I don't know, man. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that running back, because I've caught a good bit of crap from some of you guys out there, but some of you guys agree with me. I just don't think Booker's the answer out there. I could be wrong. Dude might come out there and be a superstar for us and be like that perfect spell back. It's just not the dude I was looking for, so hit me up and let me know what you think about that. I know that we have a lot of good starters, but that's our Achilles heel, in your opinion. What's our weakest position? I mean, if you're looking at the offensive side of the ball, like I was just saying, dude, I think it's that second running back position. I think the O-line's pretty much set. I think our tight ends are completely set. I think our wide receiver room is deeper than it's been possibly ever as far as just pure depth is concerned. So we're looking really good out there as far as the offense. On the defensive side of the ball, I'd still like to see us go out there and bring in either a defensive tackle or a defensive end, just some big body on that defensive line out there, because there's going to be a few guys that kind of get shaken out of this, and I want to see a replacement for that. But the Raiders don't have a bunch of money right now. It is what it is. We just don't. So it's going to be a lot of those small moves that Gruden loves to make out there, of bringing people in just to cut them a week later, which I don't see how you can build a team off of that. But that kind of drives me insane. But so far it's working, so I'm going to keep rolling with it out there. Who had no business starting last year but benefited the most? Honestly, probably, and I'll tell you, we're probably going to end up bringing him back. It's probably Will Compton out there. I really like Compton. I know I've given him a lot of crap on this channel, but the dude came in there, was a pretty bright spot on a really, really bad defense. I think if we brought him back as depth on this team, that would be really good, and I think the benefit part of it would come from him already knowing this defense. So I'll take that at this point right now. Is it just me, or is the 3-4 defense confusing? Diego, what's happening, dude? It's kind of set up weird on the screen right now because a dude like Simmons is going to float wherever he wants to be. But the 3-4, it works if you have the right 3 guys up front. If those 3 guys can get pressure and you have 4 just fast coverage linebackers, and then 2 of which are just, because you got to think about it, in the Denver Broncos defense, all 5 of these guys are on the line if they want to be, and they're coming off these edges hot. Von Miller's blitzing 90% of the time out there. Chubb's probably blitzing 80% of the time out there. So you have a 5-man front coming at your 5-man front that you're bringing, and that it makes a big difference with a lot of teams out there. If you come against a real weak offensive line, a 3-4 will eat that apart, like, because you can't really play the double teams because you leave somebody wide open if you do. So I could see the benefits of the 3-4. I kind of like the way that we looked in a 3-4, but I doubt we'll ever see that out there. But Johnson and Davis, that's a big question mark for them in this. Mark, you retracted it. What's happening, dude? Glad you made it out. Klein opposite of Miller on the boot region. That side, that's very possible, Mitchell. Very, very possible. I agree with you 100%, brother. I am confident that we'll beat the Donkeys in the first matchup and the rest of the players to keep them healthy going into week 17. If we have a wild card spot locked down or a playoff spot locked down going into the last week, I guarantee we will be resting everybody, and they will end up probably beating us that game. It will not matter, though, because we will have our spot, and they'll be sitting there with the Chargers wishing they were in the playoffs. Your show don't sleep on Rashard? No, dude. No, I do not. I think Jalen's a big part of this. I think that's the reason we went out there and signed him before we signed pretty much anybody else, because we wanted to have him locked down. He fully understands Gruden's offense. He fully understands the blocking assignments. The dude can catch out there. I really like Jalen. He fought to earn his spot on this team, and I'm happy about it, man. I really like that kid. Agreed, Bowden is going to be the Joker. Yes, he is. I'm really curious to see what happens. Oh, Renee, what's happening, dude? Are you screwed if Jacobs gets hurt or Waller? Waller, not so much. I think with having Witten and Foster in there, if they're both healthy, it would suck to lose Waller. I'm not going to sit here and say that it wouldn't, but I think that would be a lesser impact for us. We're still in a situation, that's why I keep talking about that number 2 running back. If Jacobs goes down again, who's going to carry that load? Because I'll tell you right now, for as much as I think Bowden can do, I do not think he can be a number 1 running back in the NFL. I could be wrong, but at the same time, I don't want to see him getting 25, 30 carries a game. He's just not built for that. He's built to do other things out there. And then you get into Booker. Booker hasn't done anything since his decent rookie season. After that, he pretty much just kind of dropped off. So, I don't know. That number 2 running back spot scares me out there, dude. It truly, truly does. Does Bowden get some Wildcat year 1, you think? It's possible. I think if we get in, it's possible, dude. Because I like the things that he could do with Ruggs out there. There's too much that you have to account for to where if Bowden gets the snap, everybody's going to key on it, and it's going to free up Ruggs. And if that happens, he has the arm to where he can just peg it to him on a slant, and then he's gone, like completely gone. So I'd like to think it does happen out there. I would love to see another defensive tackler or linebacker for depth. Yes, dude, I will completely agree with you out there. I really think you're going to see Compton come back onto this team. Oh, boy, George Stray, what's up, dude? I know you were having trouble making it. I'm glad you did make it out. FAB. Dude, AB is in some trouble out there right now. Now he's on probation. I saw something where teams were out there still looking to sign him. I don't see it happening, man. Dude made some tough choices out there. I don't think he'll be able to recover from that. Remember, Renfrow ate up the Broncos secondary last year in Week 17 and actually almost had 3 TDs. Remember, one was a beauty from DC. The other one was a catch at the goal line. The first one was an overthrow. Yeah, that first one was an overthrow, but he would have been gone. Renfrow played huge against them. He truly did, and I really think that's where you're going to see Bowden and Renfrow sliding into that slot spot because that's what it is. You're matching these guys up. You move Bowden into this slot, you move Renfrow into this slot, all of a sudden he's one-on-one with Davis, especially if you have Ruggs streaking out there because Simmons is going to have to bite on that. It's open all day because Jackson's going to have to move to Waller. AJ is going to have to stick to Williams the entire game. And then you're one-on-one with a linebacker against one of your fast speed dudes out there, and that's a true win for us. All right, so let's get in their secondary real quick. They did go out there. They got AJ. AJ's still a great corner. He's not the corner that he used to be, but he's still a great corner. I think him and Williams is a pretty even matchup right there. I do not see him guarding Ruggs at all because he cannot keep up with just that straight line speed that Ruggs has out there. So that's going to be a really good matchup for this game. But Callahan on the other side, the dude did not play last season. He got a screw put in his foot before the season started. I don't know if there was an infection or something just went wrong, but he's finally coming back healthy. Things are looking good for him. I'm happy to see that. You never want to see a player go down over just kind of a BS injury out there. So, but I don't think Callahan's another big mismatch that we have to exploit in this game. The only benefit that he does have is he'll have Simmons over the top, kind of helping him, watching him, but it's going to free up people for us. Callahan's a win for us. Jackson right here is a win for us. So if we can exploit these matchups and then use our running backs to take care of Johnson and Davis, and then just run at these linebackers, I don't want to say it's going to be an easy win, but we should be able to go in there. And if we have to, sweep this team. If we don't have to, at least win that first one where it truly counts out there. Pizza, what's going on, dude? Compton is only 30. He's still got some gas in the tank. He does. And that's what I'm saying. I would love to see him come back and be on this team and be like that third or fourth linebacker out there. I really think Lee is going to take a major step forward. If that guy can just stay healthy, I think people would be amazed at what he can do out there. One arm Bryce Callahan. Yeah, I gave him an arm because he lost a foot. Normally I cut their arms and legs off just because it's just way easier for me. But at the same time, it makes these dudes kind of look a little bit dumb, but I like to play them. I'll take any advantage we can get. No arms, no legs. I want Compton back. A lot of people do. Would you want Compton or would you want Vontaze? If you can go out there and pick right now, because they're both sitting out there, they both know this system. If you could pluck one of those two guys off free agency, stick them on that minimum deal, because that's what they're going to be getting. who would you take at that point? Because we're going to end up taking one of them, not necessarily one of them, but I really think Compton has the advantage coming back. We shouldn't underestimate any opponent in our division. However, the backups step up during this season. I can definitely see Gruden switching in the ones in some of the key positions and that type of... Yeah, Dark, what's happening, dude? Welcome to the show. I could totally see that. We can't, especially as Raider fans. You cannot underestimate any team that we go against. I just think that right now we have enough depth on this team to where even if we get a couple of those injuries right off the bat, it's not going to truly kill us like it has in the past, unless it's at that running back position or at that linebacker position. That's why I want to see a couple of those dudes come back out there. The biggest problem with the 3-4 is the 3 down linemen are always coming and one or more linebackers. Yeah, Steve, that's what I'm saying. That's you're going to have a 5-on-5. The 3-4 takes away the advantage the offensive line has to double team people because you don't know exactly where it's coming from. And then if you bring all 5 of these and you sneak one of these inside guys coming through the line, they're wide open. So you've got to get a quick release on that. The Broncos will do that. They bring all sorts of crazy blitzes out there. We have to be able to watch out for that. All we need is Gabe and Colton to step up and make the Pro Bowl so we could have a Pro Bowl line. Oh, man, that's very true. And I'll be honest with you, dude. All 5 of these dudes could go to the Pro Bowl if they played it right. This is a top 3 offensive line in football. I don't think there's many people out there. If this offensive line is healthy, there's few people that would argue with that statement. They have the size. They have the speed. Both of our guards, well, not both of our guards, but Jackson could definitely pull. Incognito's kind of lost that over the years, but Gabe pulling out to the right, it frees up a lot because Shelby's not going to catch up to Bo nor Jacobs on the back end, and then all of a sudden he's either hitting Miller or that safety, and you're gone at that point. No, I love that. Truly love that. Fresh legs for key games. Yes, dude. Even a dude like Carl Nassib coming in there and being like just a fresh rotation piece on that defensive line or maybe even plugging into that linebacker spot. If he comes in the late third and everybody else is wore down, he's been chomping at the bit to get on the field and win the game for us, he's going to be a big impact. We definitely need to keep Jacobs healthy. We do. And that's the other thing I want to see, man. I don't want to see Jacob have carries taken away from him, but if we can get him 20 to 22 carries a game, and then we have somebody else that can come in there, pick up the rest of that workload, and then even if Jacobs was only getting like 17 to 20 carries a game, but he was catching 5 to 6 balls a game, I'd be so happy about that. Have to get him more involved in the passing game. Of course, people say Alexander Johnson is so underrated. Not sure who that is. Sorry. Unless you're talking Isaiah Johnson, then I would agree with that. Did you see they ranked our GM 20 out of 32? That's just because he's still starting out, dude. Once we go out there and make some moves this season, you'll see that number jump tremendously. I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams with how often we throw the ball deep to Ruggs at a single coverage. I hope we do. Even Williams, like, the safeties are going to have to bite on one of these things. And if the safety bites on Waller, whatever side the receiver's on at that point, send them, dude. Send them and throw it up there and see what happens with it. Jalen, what's happening, dude? Donkey's defense and secondary is for real, but I like how we match up across the board. It's just, I'm telling you, man, it's all about isolation out there. Rob Marr, why AV showing the dead cap? I do not know. I'd have to look into that. I didn't see that. Doesn't he owe the Raiders money? I really thought the Raiders got it pretty much away without having to pay him anything. It might just be some legal stuff they have to put up there, but I'd have to jump into it. I have no idea why it would be 666. Lee has potential. Lee, there is a reason Markell is still riding this roster after all this time. There has to be. And the few times that we have seen him, and we saw him through that first initial training camp where he first came on, they were talking about him being a starter. Markell Lee is a special talent. The dude just has a injury bug that has bitten him and honestly is slowly taking his career away from him. The dude needs to put the season together. I'm truly hoping it's this season. Only take Vontez if it's the cheapest deal possible. And it will be. It'll be that vet minimum out there. Vontez knows the defensive scheme and can mentor Muse. That's why I like Vontez. That's truly the reason that I like him. But I honestly think that Compton could do that too. But Vontez, I don't know, man. You get that attitude edge out there. It's a big difference in football. I know they're trying to take it away, but if you can have it, take it for as long as you can have it. But he's such a liability in the league. I don't know if Burfitt's ability and intelligence, but one bad hit and he's gone. Chance, you are absolutely right. It's that target on his back. It's the reason that he's still sitting on free agency out there. Because I'll tell you right now, every team in the league knows that he's one of the smartest linebackers in the league. The dude just gets mad, dude. Oh, Michael, what's happening, dude? You made it out to the live. I'm happy to see it. Going to the beginning of this, came in late. Let's go. Yeah, dude, catch up to it. Let me know what you think. I like Witten can mentor Moreau. I really like that. I really think he can teach Waller a few things out there. I like having Witten on this team, and I know he came out there and he's like, I want to go to somewhere that was a Super Bowl contender. I mean, you love to hear that kind of stuff out there, and whether he meant it or not, it is what it is. But I think they brought him onto this team for nothing else than to coach these guys and then just be that third tight end, red zone threat, to where he kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and then all of a sudden Witten ends up getting like 4 or 5 touchdowns for us this season. We go into our little playoff run. He retires, and then next season we have a fully ready to go Waller, a fully ready to go Foster. And I mean, we're carrying a good bit of tight ends right now, so you might see one of these dudes make the practice squad, and then Witten keeps working with him. So that could be huge for us, man, like huge for us. I think Corey Littleton will be the main mentor for Muse because they're going to play interchangeable linebacker positions, and they have a similar size also. That is a very true statement, Diego. I like that a lot. Hopefully those two do start working together. And I'd honestly like to see Joyner start working with Robertson and trying to teaching him that system and letting him see how everything works out there. I'm so juiced about this season. Seymour, what's going on, man? I'm with you, dude. Broncos defense is good, but I believe we will beat them. Yes, I think we'll be able to establish the run enough in these games to where we'll completely control time of possession, and then when we need to score, I don't think, because of Callahan and because of Jackson, they will not be able to stop our shots going deep, and that's going to be what leads us to the advantage out there. I wish the NFL would adopt something like NBA 2, wave players instead of... Yeah, that would be cool. I would take that. Raiders need to run jet sweeps at Chubbs and Miller. Miller will over-pursue as Brown steal off the linebackers. One of our best blocking receivers. Yes, dude, I will give you that. And honestly, you could get Edwards in there at that point. Edwards has a lot of size. He could take Callahan completely out of the play, just putting him in the dirt. I really hope we see more jet sweeps. We have so much speed and talent out there right now. It's become a major part of the NFL. We could do it. We have the young guys that know how to do it, so hopefully we can put it together. I'm not going to go out there and say that we're going to see a whole bunch of them out there, but I would like to see a little bit of it. I would love to see a little bit of it. If Vontez gets banned again, do we lose a roster spot? I mean, no, you wouldn't. You would end up just being... He would be kicked out of the league, so that roster spot would be open back up. But at the same time, you'd be losing a roster spot because you'd be bringing in another linebacker that was just kind of sitting out there after the season had already started, that wasn't on anybody else's team, so ultimately you're losing a roster spot. Jacobs, 20 carries a game, 5 receptions, and spread the ball around. I would love that. That's like the perfect setup. Imagine a double jet sweep from Ruggs and Bowden. That would really throw off the defense. If they could pull that off, dude, it would throw them off. That would scare me. 2 rookies handing it back and forth like that. I still want to see. I want to see Bowden throw a pass to Ruggs one time this season. I don't care even if it's in garbage time, just to see if it works. I would love to see that happen. Can't wait for Ruggs to put a double move on Callahan and burn him and even come back. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now, if Ruggs gets manned up against Callahan, you're going to see Ruggs end up having an incredibly big game out there for us. AJ will not hold Williams all game. Callahan probably the fastest cornerback on direct. Yeah, that is the speed guy, but this dude's just coming back from that foot injury, so I'm not going to say that he's going to be able to have the speed to keep up with Ruggs. Not at this point, not right now. This Williams-AJ matchup is going to be good, but I'll tell you, man, Williams gets a step, take your shot. He has the size advantage, take your shot out there. Who's going to guard Renfro? That's the other thing, dude. It's going to end up being, well, I'll tell you right now, if they get into like a blitz package or something, you'll see Simmons come up and he'll be right in Renfro's face, and that will suck to see. Or he'll be right in Bowden's face, and that will suck to see. They like to kind of spread him around, but in certain packages where they're sending everybody, they'll put him right in somebody's face on man coverage. It'll take him out of the play, but that's where you got to exploit Ruggs or Williams out there. Simmons is the one person on this defense, and honestly Casey, because that dude is really good. Vaughn's getting a little bit older. Chubb's coming off an injury. Those two dudes are the guys that you truly have to watch out for in this game. They will be the biggest difference makers out there. If White and Muse can transfer to linebacker and be productive, our defense will have no... Yes, I will give you that. And I think Muse will do it. It'll take him a little bit of time. I'm pulling for White. Curious to see what happens with him. Maybe some line. Yep. Witten will build the tight end room's confidence and productivity. Those dudes are productive, man. And if he can go in there and just show them how to be more productive and take that next step, our tight end room is going to be one of the best in the league. A linebacker, you lost me there. I'm not sure what you're talking. As long as a production, I'll take that. A linebacker on Denver can't stick with Renfro. No, dude, I'm talking about Simmons, dude. It's coming up and playing that man spot when they're blitzing their linebackers. Dude, we were talking about those mismatches earlier, dude. We're going to exploit that crap. I don't think Booker will make the team. I don't think he will either. That's why I want to see another back come on to this team. Ingold is our big back. I would like to say you're right about that. In like 3rd and short, 4th and 1, yes, Ingold is the guy out there that will come out there and make that run for us. And I do love seeing it because he's like 75-80% on those. But he's also out there being that lead blocker for us a lot of times. I need somebody that can come out of this team, and if Jacobs goes down and we have our number 2 back as our starter, there's not a doubt in my mind that dude's going to go out there and get the job done. Booker's not that dude. He is not that dude. We need to throw the ball deep at least 5 times, jet sweep 3 times, and spread the defense open. Dude, I would love to see it. I want to see it. I'm hoping we do. I'm truly hoping we do. I'm right there with you, Jeff. I still like Ross coming to the team. If we could get him, that's very possible. Reem, welcome to the show, dude. I would take that. If we can get it, I would take it. Yeah, Simmons, the only one that can keep up. He can, dude. Simmons, man, that dude's so damn good. I really wish that dude was a Raider. Put Ruggs, Waller, and Witten out there with Jacobs, Bowden, and Carr. Courtney, welcome to the show. I had that lined up earlier, too. It's honestly looking pretty good for us. There's so many things that we can go into with the depth that we have and just kind of get these mismatches against these teams. But Denver especially, if we can get Davis and Johnson in man coverage spread out, we're going to tear them apart. We are going to tear them apart. Renfro is great. I didn't know he gets open, but that's part of being one of the best slot dudes out there, Diego. And we have him, and I truly love it. My nickname for Ingold is Meat Plow. I'll give you that. That's a good nickname, dude. All right, guys, that's what I have for you tonight. Just wanted to take a look at their defense. I'm not sure who I'm going to break down next. I'm kind of tossed up between the Falcons and the Bucks. So let me know out of those two who you'd want to see coming out there. But thank you guys for coming out tonight. You know I do truly appreciate that. I'm going to start putting together the next show and cutting these little dudes out. So until then, I'm Son Joku. We will catch you guys later. Everybody have a good night. Please click that like button on your way out. It seriously helps me out. See you guys.